Hey folks, this is the Wayne S. Pierce with the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. Doing a podcast. We're not live. We're usually live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And the thing that I'm going to talk about today is something that has been on my mind for quite some time. And it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it at all, because I understand a lot more than people will ever realize. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that I'm a very well-educated individual. Anything that I read about, I can retain. I look at history. I look at all these things in life. I examine everything that you can imagine I would be interested in. And the other thing that I know is there could be someone else out there that's a lot smarter than I am. Well, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Let's sit down, let's talk. I may learn something from them, and they may learn something from me. And, hey, isn't that always a good thing? Just wondering. So, the things that I see around here in the biggest little city in the world, in Reno, Nevada, and the things I see in the world, I talk about. And some people would look at me and claim or imply that I'm lying, or that, I don't know the whole story, or I don't know the whole picture. I wouldn't say anything if I didn't. I wouldn't say anything if I just, that's what it is, and give you a knee-jerk reaction to it. I literally learn about stuff. I literally go behind the curtain. I shouldn't say literally, but I look behind the scenes. In other words, I have questions I'm going to ask. I'm going to research. I'm going to go and talk to people. I'm going to see these things happening. And it is, something that is really, it's something that I've done for many, many years. Okay. And, my family, my mother, my grandmother and everything used to tell me, if you're going to talk about something, know what you're talking about. And then my mother said, figure it out. She didn't give me the silver platter answers either, and I'm not going to give them to you. You're going to have to figure it out. Now, I always say that people are going to have to prove themselves right if they contradict me. Well, I wouldn't expect anything I wouldn't expect anything else other than me proving myself to myself and then presenting it to you. You wouldn't expect anything less from me, would you? So there you go. But anyway, after the break, I'll give you a rundown of what's going to be on the Views Expressed live today. Give you, let you know what goes on behind the scenes around here a little bit, and also give you talk to you about what's happening in New York with Mayor Bloomberg. Go to Drudge Report, go to Infowars.com, go to these different places. And that's where I just read the articles, give you the websites, you make up your own mind, okay? I give you my opinion, and that's just the way it is. You agree with it, that's fine. You disagree with it, that's fine too. I'll be back after this. Want to know what's happening all around us? You do? Great! Come check out the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Forever Me by Thomas Amo. Hannah Richards isn't your typical 16-year-old at Wichita Falls High. Fashion, trends, cosmetic, and style are unimportant to her. An avid reader, guitar player, and classic movie and television buff, Hannah marches to the beat of her own drum. Visible only to her father, the town sheriff, and her two best friends, Lauren and Haley, Hannah lives a simple, unpampered life as an Eastie. After coming to the aid of Taylor Monroe, a popular member of the Stilettos at school, and a series of misunderstandings with her friends, Hannah is forced to reinvent herself. She quickly gets caught up in a life much different than the one she knows, where status, glamour, makeup, and appearance and acceptance become her masters. And what of the dark secret that haunts the streets of Wichita Falls? Can Hannah survive the lies, deceit, jealousy, and rage that are now waiting for her around every corner? Will she succumb to the pressures of popularity? Or will she be crushed under the heels of the Stilettos? High school is hard enough just being yourself, let alone trying to be someone you're not. Forever Me by Thomas Amo. Available on the Kindle at Amazon.com.
Listen to DJ Russ on Rap More Than Words, with songs like the Black Eyed Peas' Don't Stop the Party.
This is that original. This has no identical. You can't hack my digital. Future aboriginal.
And Flow Rider, Let It Roll.
Good time, go home. Come on, baby, let the good time go home. Come on, baby, let the good time go home. Come on, baby.
And many more of your rap hits right here on Spreaker.com.
Hey, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show. This is a podcast. We're not live. Unless you're tuning in Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific, then we're live. But that's the podcast. Got a lot to tell you. A little preview of what's coming up on the Views Express today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Why don't you go check out also, before that, The Angel Clark Show. Yes, The Angel Clark Show, radiofreedom.us. Yes. 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Check that out. Great show. Angel Clark is wonderful. She's got a great show over there at radiofreedom.us. Check it out. Jump in the chat room. Talk to her. Yeah. So, anyway, go to Free America Radio on Facebook. I'll give you a preview of what's coming up on the Views Express today. And I do want to tell people that, and full transparency here, I could be wrong in some of my views. That's okay. I don't mind that. I'll admit when I am. You know why? Because I don't know everything, and neither do you. So, go to Free America Radio on Facebook, and you will see editorial, Nullify Washington. You might want to check that article out as well. This is coming up on the Views Express today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Also, from thecommonsenseshow.com, look who funded and developed Common Core. Got a picture of Bill Gates there. Also from Breitbart.com, ex-Border Patrol agents warn politicians helping cartels in U.S. Also from Citizens Action Network on Facebook, cops arrest NBC reporter, says, quote, your First Amendment right can be terminated, unquote. That's what a cop says. Okay? Also from Alternative World News Network, new bill aims to make smart meters mandatory for entire nation. Also from Police State USA, land of the checkpoints, a typical image of America's paramilitary police forces. Here we see a picture of men in black masks carrying firearms that the public is restricted from owning in San Mateo, California. Oh, there's plenty more. Oh, believe me, plenty more. Go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show on Facebook. You will see Spencer Hughes. He's got a show on tonight on Spreaker.com. 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. The Spencer Hughes Show. Spreaker.com/users/Spencer Hughes. And the link there is up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show site on the page there. Also, from Exposing the Truth, I mentioned this yesterday, how to remove fluoride from drinking water. Isn't that wonderful? We need to get that poison out anyway. Now, from Luke Radowski over at We Are Change, the Wall Street Journal reports that the FBI is tapping tactics used by hackers to keep tabs on suspects. Sorry, I'm enunciating my words there. The FBI is tapping tactics used by hackers to keep tabs on suspects. The Homeland Security Exercise and Evaluation Program. What's that mean? I'll talk more about that on the Views Express today as well. From Fox News. Oh, get this stupidity. From Fox News. Seattle officials call for ban on potentially offensive language. Yeah, do you see the idiocy coming out of Washington, D.C. now? Do you see it spreading across the United States? Do you have any clue whatsoever what's going on? Has it occurred to you that you're being duped? Has it occurred to you that there are completely inept politicians in Washington, D.C.? It's amazing to me. It really, really is amazing to me. I was I was amazed to hear on the Glenn Beck show this morning that the NFL is banning celebrations. Like, the dances after you get a touchdown, all that. Now, go look that up. It's there. Just go look it up. Now, JudgeReport.com is reporting that if you do watch Fox News, which I don't, Megyn Kelly, who's the star of the network apparently, is taking over at the 9 p.m. slot, probably either sitting in with or replacing Sean Hannity. So, there's that. Also, star director of Elysium deny movie has political motive, of course, because if he didn't, he'd get kicked out of Hollywood. Quote, more openly socialist political agendas of any movie in memory. Let's go take a look at that. That's from Fox News. Los Angeles, The Hollywood Reporter calls it a politically charged flight of speculative fiction. Newsmax refers to it as sci-fi socialism and political agenda. Variety says it's one of the more openly socialist political agendas of any Hollywood movie in memory, beating the drum loudly, not just for universal health care, but for open borders, unconditional amnesty, and the abolition of the class distinctions as well. But the director of Elysium, Neil Blomkamp, begs to differ, as does the film's star, Matt Damon. Well, of course, if they came right out and said that it's that type of movie that they're claiming, that these other organizations are claiming, that, they both get kicked out of Hollywood. Blomkamp, who rose to fame with the Oscar-nominated sci-fi hit District 9 in 2009, said his highly anticipated film has no agenda whatsoever and claims he isn't a political filmmaker. Elysium doesn't have a message, he said to Wired magazine, saying he found it unfortunate that critics were drawing parallels between his movie and the Occupy movement and a phenomenon he says wasn't even a consideration. The film star Matt Damon too insists that Elysium is not trying to push any political buttons. Quote, I don't think it's trying to say anything. It's just it just presents the issue, the distinct difference between the haves and the have-nots. He told Fox 411 while promoting the flick, quote, a science fiction film will work if it is a whole new world, but speaks to the world that we live in, but not in a heavy-handed way. The first order of business for a big summer popcorn movie is to make a kick-ass movie with great action, unquote. There's a trailer there for it. Set in the year 2154, Elysium imagines a world where two distinct classes remain. There is the overpopulated, crime-riddled, poverty-stricken slums of Earth, and then there are the excessively wealthy who reside in Elysium, a slick, mind-blowing, man-made space station that comes complete with a cure for every illness in humans and robots that stop at nothing to enforce anti-immigration laws and preserve the luxurious lifestyles of Elysium's lucky few. And while anyone certainly can make a movie about whatever it is they want, some critics find it laughable that Blomkamp would deny this film has political themes. Quote, it's not just hypocritical to say this movie isn't political, it's hilarious. This is just the latest of several Hollywood movies this year to try to co-opt Occupy Wall Street plot lines in their films. Dan Gaynor, Vice President of Business Culture and Media Research Center, said filmmakers wear their politics on their sleeves, but it helps their careers to push liberal agendas, unquote. Christian Toto, assistant editor at Breitbart News, noted that even the trailer, quote, carries a heavy-handed political vibe, unquote. Quote, science fiction films often embed social commentary into their stories, but that works best when done with a delicate touch, which hardly appears to be the case here. Unquote. The film's official website also reads as something of a political campaign with links to the fictionalized Civil Cooperation Bureau. They stop civil disobedience before they start, unquote. An Elysium Citizen Initiative, which comes with a tag, quote, do you deserve a better life? Find out how, unquote. The South African-born director did admit that his big-budget offering at least reflects a personal interest in the class system. Bingo. Quote, growing up in South Africa has a lot to do with that. Those formative years growing up in a country where things are so separate, it's institutionalized thought in this military complex, unquote. He said, quote, moving to Canada gave me an outside perspective. I can't shake it. I'm interested in those topics, unquote. Elysium hits theaters nationwide Thursday, August 8th. Today. Well, aren't we special? Every movie that's come out in the last 10, 15 years, and even prior to that, has always had a political agenda to it, has always had political subliminal messages to it. When you look at the, I believe it's the second or third Star Wars episode, episode 2 or 3, I think it is, you'll see a lot of political stuff in there. You'll see the distinction between someone, fighting their own feelings and being deceived into thinking that the person they love will stay alive, forever if they do one thing and give up their soul to the massive industrial, military industrial New World Order complex. Okay? I mean, so there's that whole thing, to deal with as well. And this is true through all sorts of, sci-fi, space-type, futuristic movies. I mean, it's there. I mean, I think the earliest one, I haven't seen the film. Everybody says it's great, but I haven't seen it, Clockwork Orange. I mean, no one, people have told me that film has a lot of, innuendos and things like that make you think, And I'm of the thought that if you're not open enough to see these things in these movies, then obviously there's a problem. There's a problem with you, there's a problem with the way you think, there's a problem with your environment. You're not crazy when you're thinking that, you're not crazy to think that there's some sort of massive, conspiracy going on to collapse the country under New World Order, UN Agenda 21 policies. You're not crazy. You're very much open to what is going on. And you've questioned the authority. You've questioned the system. You've questioned the ideals of someone else who wants to be a part of that system or who supports and backs that system. You've questioned them and you've opened up your mind. But a lot of people will sit around and go, it's just a movie. Yeah, so was Prometheus. Have you seen that? And I was watching a video, as a matter of fact, I downloaded it, and it, there was I was going to say a seminar, that's not what it is. But there was somebody speaking about certain things and certain planetary alignments and all this, and they were saying that, they also spoke about the Illuminati. The Illuminati created every single religion on the face of the planet. The Illuminati came in underneath and said, you people believe in this? Great, here's this. Oh, another group of people on the other side of the planet believe this? Okay, here's this. The Illuminati created it all. They created the infrastructure in the world to do two things. One, to divide everybody by race, creed, education, position, everything. That's one thing. And once everybody starts killing themselves over those materialistic things that they want, based entirely upon ego, then they switch gears and begin to conquer everyone through intellectual and other philosophical, means. So it's all this, I mean, the New World Order, the hierarchies, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the members of the Bilderberg Group, all of that, have come together to say, look, here's this. From the top down. And the minions, they're people, their minions, are the leaders of every single country, are the politicians of every single country. But they're played off, one another because it gives people a semblance of, oh, I got to root for the underdog, or look at this guy, he's really good, or that guy over there sucks, we're not going to vote for him. There's that divide section, so, that's part of it. Now, I know a lot of people would look at me and go, yo, you're crazy. Really? Honestly? Honestly? You either need to get a clue and stop drinking the Kool-Aid of the liberal, of the liberal media, the state-run media, and get your head out of the clouds, or you're going to freaking lose. That's all there is to it. You're going to lose everything. I'll be back.
Some say Wayne Pearson's crazy.
The worst thing to call somebody is crazy is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
Don't take somebody else's word. Tune in and judge for yourself. The views expressed. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on Spreaker.com.
Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. America Matters. Enthusiastically entertaining, educating, enlightening everyone everywhere, while including a unique mix of all forms of media, including the internet, with continual live streaming available for all their shows. Their website is www.americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio, weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com, or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com.
What are you doing on Sunday evenings? Well, you ought to be listening to The Unnamed Show with Reverend Wayne S. Pierce and Reverend Laura Smith Clemens. The Unnamed Show, airing every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Unnamed Show is the best show on the web.
Yes, The Unnamed Show. We will be here Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. You can email us at unnamedShow@usa.com. Come check out myself and Laura Clemens. We're going to talk about a lot of things this coming Sunday. So, do you have a psychic connection to your pets? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Hey, come join us, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on RadioFreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Misfit.
Samo
Misfit.
Radio.
Misfit is a misfit.
Samo.
Ignorant of hygiene. Destructive, disorderly, and totally disrespectful.
It's the 515 with Samo on Samo Radio.
AM 1700 Daytona Beach, Holly Hill.
And SouthNet 1.
Get your morning started with the Morning Brew on 92.6 The Blitz. Music from the 60s, 70s, and more. The Blitz 92.6. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. Hey folks, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. We're not live, but things are changing for the views expressed in the Wayne S. Pierce Show. So please stay tuned, and there's more information about that as I can come up with new ideas. Actually, if you heard the show before or heard the views expressed live before, I'm combining the shows, and, well, not really combining. I'm more or less getting rid of one of them. But I'm combining the information, and I'm going to change a few things around. It's not going to be, I don't know exactly when I'm going to air the new show, but stay tuned and more details to come. If you have questions, of course, you can just email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. And go to freeamericaradio.weebly.com. That's freeamericaradio.weebly.com for more information as well. Now, the Wayne S. Pierce Show it's I don't get into a whole lot of other things, even though I do talk about it off air, such as UFOs, life on other planets, this kind of thing. I don't usually talk about that. But to briefly give you some background, I was a teenager at the time, and I began to study haunted houses, began to study UFOs, began to study spiritual things such as, demon possession, this kind of thing. And I just went through the whole gamut of research material for 10 to 15 years from the time I was in high school. Now, also along with that, I was studying different cultures, different religions, different political structures of different countries, and why they do this and why they do that, and why people hate the U.S., and, this kind of thing. So I've studied a grand scale of subjects and issues, and I've noticed in the last several days, with some posts about certain pictures from Mars and from the moon, and certain grainy pictures. People are saying it's this, it's that, it's whatever. I look at it this way. If you're not on the moon or Mars, why should you have an opinion about it? You're not there, you don't see it, it's not what you think it is. It could be a rock formation, it could be a crater, it could be, whatever. I don't usually talk about stuff like this, but I want to get that out there just to get to the point of saying this. Everybody, no matter what subject it is, everybody's going to have a different opinion of it. Everybody's going to, because their opinion is based upon their perspective. What? Well, yeah, perspective. Stand in a room at full attention. Don't move your eyes. Don't move your head. Don't move nothing. Just stand there and look straight ahead. That is your perspective. Now, you can change your perspective by turning around and looking up and looking down or whatever. But look straight ahead. Now, have a friend of yours stand back to back to you and look straight ahead, no eyes turning, no nothing. Now, both of you try to describe what's there. Both, without moving your eyes, just look straight ahead. Use your peripheral vision. Use, secondary, whatever. I call it secondary vision. It's not peripheral. It's right before you get to the main focal point. So I call that the secondary sight. But and there's another word for that. I can't remember it. But look straight ahead. No eyes turning. No head. No nothing. Try to describe to your friend behind you what you're looking at. Okay? Then have him do the same thing, or have her do the same thing. Then when you're done, switch perspectives. Do that again. Describe whatever, whatever it is. You're going to find that whatever the other person describes to you that you have seen is going to be completely different. So how can you sit there and say anyone is wrong, anyone is right? How can you do that when you have your own perspective about it? Then do something else. Look around the room, have your friends sit on the other side of the room in a chair, in a couch, whatever, and then you sit wherever you want to sit and describe writing it down. Yes, you got to pick up a pencil and a piece of paper and write it down. Then hand it to your friend. Hand it to your friend and read it. And tell me that your friend doesn't have a different perspective than you do. So when you see people out protesting, when you hear people have a differing political position than you do, or a different opinion about a political position than you do, are you right or wrong? No. I'll be the first in line to admit when I'm wrong, because, hey, I don't know everything, and neither do you, because it's our perspective. Now, what our perception, what our perceptics operate in, is in the degree to which we can recognize what we're looking at as a result of the contrast and comparisons of other things that we understand. Period. Go look it up. That's why I say when people contradict me or disagree with me, prove yourself right. You don't have to prove me right. It's my perspective. You go prove yourself right. You take what I'm looking at and then you go look at it. It's your perspective. It's your view. It's your opinion. It's your findings. And as a result, you're going to tell me how all of this is played out in your mind from your perspective. So when people bash my show or download my show and use it and cut it up and complain about it and tell me I'm wrong and all this, it's their perspective. Because, and here's my point, y'all got preconceived ideas as to what your perspective is. You don't have the truth. You don't have the facts. You never have and you never will. It's only going to be your perspective. Same as me. But I back up what I have with truth and facts. Here it is. My show, the Wayne S. Pierce Show, says the tagline is sharing the truth one fact at a time. And that is what I do. And the bottom line is that not one person I've said to go prove yourself right has ever come back to me and said, well, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But then again, the major excuse that people use is, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And they basically throw a kid-type temper tantrum and they pick up their ball and go home. Because they don't like it. They don't like people being up in their face or proving that they're wrong or pushing them to such a degree to where they're going to have to admit that they're wrong. They don't like that. I do. I don't mind. If I'm wrong, present your evidence. If I'm wrong and I find out about it, I'll come back and correct myself. I don't mind. It's called responsibility. Not enough people have that. It's called self-responsibility. And when I look at myself and say, last week I said this, and I found out that this was omitted from what I had told you, and therefore I'm wrong. Well, when I say that I'm wrong in that regards, in that context, I'm not wrong. It just means that I overlooked something. So I'm not wrong. I just may have overlooked something. But if I'm wrong and I'm found to be wrong and I find out that I am wrong, I'll admit it. Hey, it doesn't matter to me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Mama didn't raise no fool. She told me that whatever you say, you better know what you're talking about, which means I had to go do research. And guess what else she said? 3 words, other than I love you. Figure it out. And like I said in the beginning of the hour, that's what I tell you. Prove yourself right. Period. I'm not going to give you the silver platter answer to everything that you ever want to know. It's not going to happen. The process by you going and figuring it out is going to help you understand it a lot better and give you a perspective that I hope that you can agree upon. Even if you take the material that I present and go look at it. But your preconceived idea is going to kick in, your fear is going to kick in, and you fear what you don't understand, therefore you want to annihilate it in some way, intellectually speaking. So you're going to find everything negative and opposite of anything that I say or anything that anybody else says, and you're going to say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Here, look at this. And it's all going to be material that in less than a 24-hour period of time, I can debunk every single thing that you put at me. Or anybody else, and somebody else will have that type of responsibility within themselves to do that, to hold you accountable for what you put out. I'm going to hold you accountable to your perspective. In other words, you're standing back to back with me and I describe to you something and you turn around and we switch positions and you look at it and you say, that's not what it is. Yeah, it is. Watch. Walk over with me. Here, follow me. And I point right at it. Here's what I saw. I proved myself correct because I'm responsible for that in my perspective. So I'm going to hold you accountable for your perspective. And before you go off, go crazy and start throwing stuff at your computer screen, I don't expect anything less from anybody else towards me. Didn't you just hear me say that if I find out that I'm wrong or have overlooked something or something, I'll admit to it? I don't mind. I don't mind at all. It's just it's going to make me a better person. It's going to make me a better presenter of information. That's all. I mean, why not? As simple as that. But I know for a fact that 99.9% of the time, nobody is ever going to take my information that I present here on this show and go look it up. I know it. Because if they did and they see the truth and they see that I know what I'm talking about and I present the truth one fact at a time and you go and look it up and find out that you're wrong, you're never going to admit to it. That's just the way it is. And you're never going to come back to me and say, well, I was trying to do this to try to debunk everything you said or discredit you, and I was wrong. You're never going to do that. Why would you? Why would you want to do that? What? Fear of embarrassment? No. I'll forgive you. We'll move on. I'll buy you a beer. It's no big deal. Absolutely no big deal. So why am I making a big deal of it? It's called personal responsibility. It's called truth in journalism. I've taken journalism, trust me. And there is no truth in journalism anymore. It's just half-baked lying ideas, of preconceived ideas of the state-run media that they're trying to shove down our throat to tell us that this is the way it is, and we're shoving it back at them going, no, it's not. Here's how it really is. And they're going, no, I'm not going to take that. No, we're going to shut you down, and I'm going to pick up my ball and go home. Really? So you want to continue to listen to Rachel Maddow and all those folks over there and Ed Schultz and Chris Matthews and all those insane libtards that think that, Obama's the greatest thing since sliced bread? And you people need a big-time cranial enema because you obviously cannot see the truth for what it is. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the bottom line. That's just the way it is. But, again, let me tell you, that is my perspective. That is what I see. You might see it differently. As far as I'm concerned, that's fine. But don't try to contradict me with your preconceived ideas. That ain't going to work. That's just not going to work. Because I can take and tear apart every single theory that you have. Every single theory that you have. Well, that's kind of conceited, Wayne, to think that you can, have answers to every... No. Here's my point. My point is this. You want to disagree with me? That's fine. You bring the information to the table of debate. We'll discuss it rationally, reasonably. We'll have a healthy debate and discussion about it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. But if you're going to sit there and point fingers and say that I'm wrong, you better prove yourself right, because obviously you're seeing something I'm not. Something I may have overlooked. So therefore, the burden of proof is on you. Oh, and somebody did tell me once that the burden of proof is on me as well. Well, I can back up everything I say. I've got 35 years of material to do so. And some of that I've lost through moves and moving here and moving there, but I remember it. It's in my memory. Also, it's really easy. I just open my eyes and I see what's going on. I have other ways and other skills that I've developed over the years to see who's lying and who's not. But I can tell you right now that anybody that says that Alex Jones or Glenn Beck or any number of those people on the in the arena are shills or working for the system or disinfo agents or whatever, they need to do their homework. You'll know a man by the fruits of his labor. And if somebody says something and weeks later or months later it comes true, then don't you think you might want to take a second look and reevaluate your assessment? I'm just saying, that's what I would do. I'm just saying, you can do whatever you want, have your own preconceived ideas stuck in your little delusional world of your cookie cutter pattern there. I don't mind. I mean, that's you, but I would have to reassess the situation and reassess my view on something if I found out that what I thought wasn't true. Don't you think? Self-responsibility? What, really? Seriously? I don't know. Some of these far left liberal libtards, loons, these people that are just, yelling at the top of their lungs, and all this, that are saying things that are not even true, not even in the realm of being truthful. Sometimes just...
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
I just really seriously think that they need a lot of help. Really?
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Come listen to Journey into Light with your host Michael Long. The show is about looking into the afterlife. Where do our souls go from here? What are the true messages from above? Everybody is family, so make a journey into light with Michael Long your home. With the best guests on the show, they share the love with all who call in and those who are in the chat room. That's Journey into Light with Michael Long, Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on blogtalkradio.com/Journey into the Light. Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor looking to hone your abilities? Are you a writer looking for actors? Then Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is for you. If you are a voice actor or a writer of sci-fi themed radio plays, send your information to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. For more information, go to eastlandradiofilms.wix.com/EastlandFilms for more information. If you are a voice actor, send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. Get your morning started with the Morning Brew on 92.6 The Blitz. Music from the 60s, 70s, and more. The Blitz 92.6. Go to RadioRockTheBlitz.blogspot.com. Hey folks, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. If I can turn the right volume down. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. We're usually live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern. Yes, we are. Followed by the live broadcast of the Angel Clark Show at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm on again at The Views Express Live at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So you've got a lot of freedom talk there in a 3-hour period, 4-hour period. So, yes. 5 hours. I'm wrong. 5 hours. 1 to 6, yeah. My show, 1 to 2. Angel Clark Show, 2 to 4. And Views expressed live, 4 to 6. Yeah, 5 hours. I don't know, man. I talked about, I know I said before I'm not going to talk about, people trying to prove themselves, blah, 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 blah. Said I wasn't going to talk about that. But it really upsets me that people imply that I lie. What about you? Let me ask you that question. And you can email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Let me ask you that question. If you said something that you knew beyond anything, that it was true and factual, and you had the evidence to back it up, and you knew that through what you've seen it is true, you know what I mean, and someone comes along and says that you're wrong, and you prove to yourself, you prove to the other person that you are right, what's that say about the other person? And flip that coin over. If the other person is implying that you're lying, what's that do to you? I mean, seriously. Do you care? Do you care that somebody may ruin your reputation and tell everybody else that you're lying and that you're this, you're that, and trying to ruin your reputation in some way? Well, I look at it this way. I mean, we can either sit down and have a healthy debate and discussion about the issues, or you can go home. I mean, I've had people accuse me of a lot of things. You don't like people that disagree with you. No, I want people to disagree with me. I do. But I don't want them pointing fingers at me, contradicting me, and accusing me I'm lying without having to back it up. Well, people don't have to prove anything. Yeah, they do. They got to prove it to themselves, and that's my point. Want to tell me I'm wrong? Want to contradict me? You're going to prove yourself right. And if you can't do that, here's the information I'm giving you, and if you can't use that information to back up what you're saying, bye, have a nice day. Anyway, we got a few minutes here. Let me give a big shout out to the one and only Brian Keller over at Just BK. You can find his show at radiokahuna.com. Also, Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Check out his podcasts over at distortedreality.podbean.com. You can also check out, and I've mentioned her before, the Angel Clark Show, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern at radiofreedom.us. And also Michael Vera, way over there on the other side of the continent, South Carolina, with Late Night in the Midlands.com. Check his show out live on Spreaker.com. Late Night in the Midlands.com for more information. Of course, Wednesday night he has Peter Kling on. And they have a show called World Watchers, and so they talk about that as well. Come join me and Diana on Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. It's a mouthful. Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific. I think it'll be at 8. Just keep checking it out tomorrow night. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. We talk about a lot of stuff. Also, come join Laura Clemens and myself on The Unnamed Show, as Brian Keller calls it, the best show on the web. The Unnamed Show, Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk a little bit about a psychic connection between humans and animals. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we may get on to something else as well. But let's see, what else? Anything? Oh, yes, The Spencer Hughes Show, right here on Spreaker.com. For more information and to listen to his show live or the podcast, go to SpencerHughes.net. He's going to have a show on tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, so check it out. SpencerHughes.net. In the meantime, folks, this is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. We're live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And hour before Angel Clark's show at 2 p.m. Pacific. So come check it out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern. Also come check out The Views Expressed live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Free America Radio Network. For more information, go to freeamericaradio.weebly.com.